What is going on, you guys? Alex Chasen back here with a brand new video. Hopefully you're having a great day, afternoon, or night, wherever you guys are in this world. And for today's video, we're going to talk about Dejounte Murray. A few weeks ago, more like a month ago, I made a video talking about Dejounte Murray and the trade rumors at that time. I talked about the Lakers, the Heat, the 76ers, and I even talked about a dark horse team that I think should try to be interested in Dejounte Murray, that being the Oklahoma City Thunder. So if you're interested in seeing that after this video, go check that out. Link will be up top to watch those teams be discussed. But there are some new teams in recent reports, per Bleacher Report, per Shams as well, that are now interested in Dejounte Murray. That being the Milwaukee Bucks, that being the New York Knicks, even the Detroit Pistons, the Golden State Warriors, and surprisingly, the team that drafted him, the team that traded him away in the first place, yes, the San Antonio Spurs. So for today's video, we will be going through all of those teams. Some teams more, deep dive than others, because for a few of them, it's like, why would you really want to get Dejounte Murray? So before I get into the trades, per Keith Pompey of the Philadelphia Inquirer, I believe that's where Stephen A. Smith got his start before ESPN and all that, but that's besides the point. He said that the Atlanta Hawks are looking for 2 first-round picks and a player of value included in any package. But let's jump into these teams right here, starting off with the Milwaukee Bucks. And this is a similar concept to those Philadelphia 76ers. They have Damian Lillard. Why would they want someone like Dejounte Murray? I don't really know what that helps. Now, have they lost a lot on defense? Absolutely. I mean, they just let the Pistons put up, 138, 140 points on them in just regulation. So their defense has definitely fallen off a bit from past years with Drew Holiday. But, it's Dejounte Murray isn't having his best year defensively as well. He's actually having one of his worst years defensively. Still a good perimeter defender for a guard, but it's nothing like it was in past years. Now, I will say, for any of these teams, if they're going to trade for Dejounte Murray, this is a prime time to do it because next year his contract extension kicks in worth, $28-30 million. Right now he's only getting paid $18 million. So you don't have to give the biggest package in the world, but that's why there's rumors that the Hawks are looking for 2 first-round picks and at least just one player of some value. I don't exactly know what that means. That's very subjective. But for the Milwaukee Bucks, they really have one option of a trade because they're not going to trade certain guys, of course, but they're going to have to trade someone they love, and that's going to be Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, and I have 2 first-round picks. And I say this in every video when I look at mock trades that I make and I throw picks in there. Don't really focus on what the years are of the picks or really what's going on there. If it's overly important, I'll discuss that to you. But most of them, I'm just throwing that in there to see what a trade could look like. It could be any 2 first-round picks. I don't care. I'm not the GM. I'm just coming up with some mock trades. Let's really focus on the players for, certain specifics of things. But yeah, Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, and Dejounte Murray. This is one of the ones I don't really want to take too deep of a dive into because I don't really know why the Milwaukee Bucks would do this. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, you get 2 first-round picks, but they're the Milwaukee Bucks. They're going to be good for, a long time. So I just don't really, again, this is one of the ones I don't really see too much of a possibility of happening. Now, if it does, great. I mean, they add someone like Dejounte Murray with Damian Lillard, with Giannis, but there's only one ball. And it's, it's rare to see a team like the Clippers that are actually figuring it out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. It's like there's an example going on with Dejounte Murray and Trae Young of it just not really working out. Why would it work out with another guard duo there that are both ball dominant, especially someone like Damian Lillard? He's in that same echelon as Trae Young. Why would it work if it's not working already? And it's not like Damian Lillard is some great facilitator. Trae Young's a great facilitator. So I just don't really know if it's not working out with Trae Young. Why would it work out with somewhere else with another great guard? That's my whole point when it comes to making these deals with a team that already has a set guard. But anyways, we'll move on to the New York Knicks. Same thing applies. But Evan Fournier, you get to dump off that contract for the New York Knicks. You get Quentin Grimes as well in Atlanta, which is really good. He's an up-and-coming player. Also 2 first-round picks. Again, don't really have to take too deep of a dive with those picks there. And then Dejounte Murray to New York. Now, I do like this one for New York. I know I was talking about if you already have a great guard, don't do it, and I completely stand pat on that. But I feel like Jalen Brunson, it would be able to make it work with someone like Dejounte Murray. I feel like he's a selfless enough player. He's proved that. Turning into a superstar, he's proved that he's a selfless enough player to make it work with another guard next to him. So if there's anywhere this could happen, I think it's possible in New York City. But again, I don't even know why the Hawks would love to do this trade because you're getting Evan Fournier's contract, a lot of money. So you're really just getting Quentin Grimes and 2 first-round picks, which is nice. But the Hawks, I just don't think they want to blow it up. Now, if there's rumors that start to come out about, Trae Young possibly being traded, then yeah, take what you can get. But I don't know if that's necessarily right now. Moving on to the Detroit Pistons. Now, the Detroit Pistons could make the greatest package in the world if they really wanted to. They get in Dejounte Murray's contract when it kicks in next year. Not like that would eat a lot of cap because they have a lot of cap space available. So if there's a team that could make a major splash for Dejounte Murray, it would be the Detroit Pistons. So I have two possible trades here. One of them would be more like the Pistons want to keep their young guys. They have no interest in trading Ivy, no interest in trading any of the young guys. They're just going to throw some veteran big contracts at the Atlanta Hawks with some valuable first-round picks with protections. So this is where the picks, we can discuss them. Maybe not the years exactly, but just protection-wise. So a possible trade could look like Joe Harris's big contract, Monte Morris, 2 first-round picks, one being top 5 protected, the other being top 3 protected. And if I'm the Detroit Pistons, any trade I do with first-round picks, I am putting protections on them. I did not think that'd be this bad this year. I thought at the very least, they'd be like that 13th, 12th seed. I thought they even had a possibility. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I thought they even had a possibility because the Eastern Conference is just so it's so meh. I thought they had a possibility of sneaking into that 10th seed because I thought they were going to take a step up like the Orlando Magic did last season. Well, I was wrong. So any trade the Detroit Pistons do, from now to the end of time, I would put some protections on those until they're a proven good team, because who knows? 2027, 2030, who knows what they're going to be like. So that could be the Atlanta Hawks side of what they receive. And then for the Detroit Pistons, you just get Dejounte Murray. So if I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I would be like, absolutely not. No way you're just going to give me Joe Harris, Monte Morris. Yeah, I like those picks, but they're protected. And who knows? You guys could be really, really bad. There's no way I'm just doing that. If I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I'm saying you have to give me Jaden Ivey. You have to give me Asar Thompson. You have to give me something. And if I'm the Detroit Pistons, I don't know how I feel about that. So the other trade I came up with, though, is Monte Morris, because you need some substance of a big contract, and Jaden Ivey, and those same 2 first-round picks for Dejounte Murray. And also, if the Pistons really wanted to do this, and I'm not necessarily a big believer they really want to do this, but if they did, I mean, you'd have to be kind of content with trading away one of your young guys. It's obviously not going to be Cade Cunningham. Asar Thompson, he can kind of run that 1 to 4. I don't really know if you need to do that. He can kind of play more positions, but it would have to be the odd man out of Jaden Ivey. And you already have a guard duo of Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, so one of them would go. Of course not Cade Cunningham, like I said, so it would have to be Murray. But then the same problem comes up again. Dejounte Murray, ball dominant. Cade Cunningham, very ball dominant. Will that be able to mesh? Will that be able to work out? That's the question there. But if there's one of these trades that I think are more likely than the other, I think it'd have to be the younger guy one, because I don't see a world where the Atlanta Hawks would have all these young assets in front of them on the Pistons and be like, oh no, it's okay, we'll just take Joe Harris and Monte Morris. I think you'd have to absolutely make sure you get Jaden Ivey, or at least someone young on that roster that has real high potential. So on the realism scale of this trade, I see, closer to 0 than 100. But these are the teams that are rumored per Shams and per Bleacher Report in Dejounte Murray, or at least have, picked up the phone and have inquired about Dejounte Murray. So I'm going to discuss any of those teams. Moving on to the Golden State Warriors. And do the Warriors do this? Maybe, man, maybe, but it's going to be centered around Draymond Green. And as you can see, I only threw 1 first-round pick in here because I don't see a world, really, Golden State Warriors who are going to give up Draymond Green, Moses Moody, some, substance of assets here. Why would they give up 2 first-round picks when they could be really, really bad in a few years down the line? They're buying into right now. I mean, obviously, we figured that out last offseason. They're buying into the right now. And by trading away someone like Draymond Green, Moses Moody, a first-round pick, there's no way they're going to add another one. The Warriors would receive Dejounte Murray, Patty Mills, and Wesley Matthews. Now, out of all of these trades, I like this one the best because I think the Golden State Warriors, if there's any team here that can manage, a lot of guards on one team, it is for sure the Golden State Warriors, because they have Stephen Curry. They have Klay Thompson, 2 guys who have proved that they can play with anyone no matter what, they'll make it work. And of course, I know they have Chris Paul, but he's that 6th man now. He's been demoted to that. And then for Klay Thompson, he could bite a bullet and come off the bench as well. I could definitely see him being selfless like that because he hasn't had the best season. and he's been put to the bench a few times this season, so I think he might be okay with doing that. But I could see definitely Stephen Curry and Dejounte Murray possibly working out because Stephen Curry will make it work, and this would be a great upgrade for the Golden State Warriors. And then finally, Kuminga can move into that starting power forward role and truly turn into the star that we have seen flashes of. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, I mean, you get someone like Draymond Green who might be able to turn your locker room around a little bit. Hopefully doesn't punch your teammate. No, I'm just kidding. But Draymond Green has a lot of good. He's getting older, so he's relying more on his edge than actual talent these days. But his edge is enough to turn a locker room around for the better and maybe become a true leader somewhere else. Because I think in Golden State, him, Clay, and Curry, it's just getting a little old. They're the 12th or 11th seed right now. They're not a good team. I think it's just getting old, and one of them has to split, and it's not going to be Curry. I think it's going to be tough to move Clay right now because he's on an expiring deal. But for Dre, he just signed a contract extension. It's going to be easier to move because he's locked up for some time. I think he might be the odd man out. And then you get someone like a young guy in Moses Moody in Atlanta, a first-round pick, maybe two if they can do that. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think this is a solid deal for both sides. And then the final team we're going to discuss today is Dejounte Murray going back home to the team that drafted him, the San Antonio Spurs. And I only see one way this happens, a similar concept to the Detroit Pistons one. They need a young guy. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, whatever it may be. But I'm going to lean towards Devin Vassell because they're, similar positions. And Devontae Graham to make the money work, plus 2 first-round picks, but like late first-round picks. Because with Victor Wembanyama, if you bring in someone like Dejounte Murray, you're not going to trade your first-round picks now, obviously, because they're bad. But in 2026, the late 2020s, they could be a really, really good team. And those picks might not be overly valuable, but hey, you wanted 2 first-round picks, Atlanta, that's what you're going to get. And this would be my trade here. So for all of these, I don't really love any of them because I don't necessarily really think many of these teams really need Dejounte Murray. But these are the rumors, and I wanted to discuss it for you guys today. What do you think? What is the most likely scenario here? The Bucks? I don't think they need him. The Knicks? Maybe. I feel like Jalen Brunson could be a selfless enough guy to do that. The Detroit Pistons, again, maybe, but I don't know if they necessarily want to give up their young guys, young assets. The Golden State Warriors, I could definitely see that one happening because maybe they're just tired of Draymond Green. Again, Curry has proved to be a selfless guy, will make it work. They brought in Kevin Durant. They won 2 championships. I mean, that's all the proof in the pudding you need to show they can make it work with another star. And then the Spurs, maybe, because I feel like the Spurs are like a few years away of Victor Wembanyama growth and or just getting another star in there to run the true offense because they have no point guard right now. Jeremy Sohan is the point guard in San Antonio. That's a mess. So Dejounte Murray being a true point guard like he's supposed to be, I mean, that one might be the best fit because you'd actually get the reins of an offense versus all of the other teams. They already have a true offensive, flow, or they have a true point guard. Versus the San Antonio Spurs have no true point guard. Trey Jones is not the answer. Jeremy Sohan is sure not the answer. Maybe he goes back to San Antonio, could run a great offense, be that true point guard again. You have Victor Wembanyama, you keep Keldon Johnson, you have a good young team there. That might work pretty well. I'm talking myself into that. Let's get him back to San Antonio. I think that's honestly the best option for him because all the other ones, they have their point guards. Versus the Spurs, they don't. And it might be a good fit. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I'll be back very, very soon. Like always, peace out.